Hello and a very warm welcome to today's video. Now in today's video we've got a really exciting one. When I say exciting, I can probably safely say one of the top 10 most exciting videos I've ever done on this channel. Why? Because we're going to look at an area within QuickBooks that, if I'm completely honest, was already better than the competition, yet somehow has now had a glow up to make it even better than the competition when, without a doubt, the rest of the industry hasn't yet caught up on. And it's going to go against a particular social media post that I found, and we're going to be able to showcase why that social media post itself really is now completely irrelevant. Stay tuned for this one. This is definitely going to be a bit of a juicier concept, juicier episode, and one where we're going to see some really cool use of AI that I think is going to completely change the industry. So roll the VT. Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with fancy new logo, that QuickBooks chap on the internet, head of accounts here at Boffix, and also your friendly podcast who goes live each and every Monday morning for Ask the Accountant. And don't forget, also your digital disruptor and Heroes Behind the Hero award winner for the last year. Now, this video. First of all, let's talk about the social media post in question. Now, let's start with this itself by saying that actually, this particular post is by someone very knowledgeable in the world of Xero, but not quite so knowledgeable in the world of QuickBooks. And it's safe to say that they definitely have a preference for Xero versus QuickBooks. So their social media business post goes as follows.
As a business owner, if you want to make your life more painful around numbers, then use QuickBooks.
Not off to a great start here, right? We all know on this channel that's definitely not the case.
We've recently done a few conversion taking clients off it, and oh my god, the additional bank reconciliation screen is so painful. It's like having to travel back to 1995 to match each transaction off. It's slow and a complete and utter waste of time.
I'll leave the post up and you can see kind of the rest of the nonsense that's put on there, but it's that bit that got me. So much so that I was so close to replying to that particular post, I had to stop, take thing, and just make sure from an NDA point of view, I didn't get myself into trouble because I was aware of what we're about to talk about before it was publicly knowledge, right? So this particular post is all about how the current reconciliation is a pain in the backside. And in some ways I kind of agree. I mean, I don't agree necessarily that it's a waste of time, but I agree that the process and everything else hasn't had an update in some time. Not quite 1995, because it was built after that, but it's definitely had or would have seen better days, or would at least have been something that would have been nice to have a modernised update. The thing is though, why would they update it? They're already way ahead of the competition. And the ironic thing is that Xero, which is the one that this particular post is trying to defend, doesn't even have a bank reconciliation, which really winds me up, and I don't quite understand why. Apparently they've got one that's in the US at the moment being tested and maybe coming over here, but from what I can see, it's just replicating what was already in QuickBooks that this post is saying is so 1995. So surely that's not how the way is. And the way that we really want this software battle to go, right, is that Xero brings out something that's better, QuickBooks then has to do it, and then we have this whole process where a bank reconciliation, for example, just gets better and better and better with each person, each version or vendor coming up with something a bit different, something a bit better, and that's how innovation comes through. And if I'm honest, that's what I'm hoping from Xero, right? I'm hoping Xero comes along and makes bank reconciliation even better than it is before to force Intuit QuickBooks to come along and up their game. But in this particular instance, Xero still don't have a bank reconciliation, and QuickBooks have just gone and destroyed the concept of what a bank reconciliation is. And that's what this video is about. It's showing you first time about that whole concept of how bank reconciliations are going to be evolved going forward. But why? Why do we care about bank reconciliation? Well, ultimately it's about getting confidence. All a bank reconciliation is designed to do is go, right, QuickBooks or Xero, whatever the solution you're using says your bank balance is X. Here's your bank statement that you're holding in your hand or you've downloaded on your phone or whatever it's going to be, but here is your actual bank statement. Do they agree? And if they do, fantastic, great, confidence building, right? Let's all really be happy when that happens. But if they don't, we want ways in which we can easily find the differences and ways in which we can easily bring them back into line. And it builds confidence to the end user that if you're going to run reports or file VAT returns or whatever it is you're going to do with your software, that if at least you've got your bank account absolutely spot on, it's a great first start for making sure that your books are in great order. And Xero's always had, and it says in this post about, let's read this post again.
With Xero, it's literally one click of a button, boom. No need to do things twice for the sake of it.
But we're not asking people to say things twice. We're making sure they're correct. And ironically, I know this person here will be doing wonderful bank recs. Like, they are one of the best accountants in the whole of the UK. So they're definitely doing bank recs, but they're not using Xero to do the bank recs. They're going outside Xero and doing it on Excel or whatever solution they're doing. In fact, they took one of our videos from our channel. Remember the video where we did a bank rec using AI? And we went through Copilot and we showed how you can extract the data from QuickBooks, extract the data from a bank account, and you can use AI to do a bank rec for you. Well, he's done that same video. He's taken that same concept and he's done a social post about it. So he's definitely doing bank reconciliation. But my argument is if you're having to go outside of the solution to go and do something, so if you're going to have to come out of Xero or going to have to come out of QuickBooks, then you're not being efficient. So the idea that, yes, Xero doesn't quote unquote need reconciliation is completely unacceptable. Like, obviously you want to make sure that your bank account is agreeing to your software, right? That's number one priority. But the second thing is you really want to have confidence. And what QuickBooks does really well is not only does it reward you for having that confidence by going, you know what, I'm really satisfied now, my bank balance is correct against what it's actually there. I can have confidence that everything else should be pretty much okay. But the big thing is it puts a line in the sand. And what it does is every transaction you reconcile up to that point gets a nice little rubber stamp on it. And that rubber stamp is basically saying to you that, don't worry, if anything changes against this, we'll have you covered. And the idea of a good bank rec is that if a change is made previously to when you put a line in the sand, say, I'm happy at this point, that it easily finds ways to be able to get you back to it. That's always been the strength of a bank rec. It's not a needless task. It's a task to mean that going days down the line, it's got you back. It's got you. It understands if any changes are happening. And for someone like Xero to turn around and say, that's not needed, one click, boom, you're done, doesn't really work, does it? Because yes, in an ideal world, all the bank transactions come in, but we're not living in an ideal world. The bank rec could fail and not send anything in. The bank can have a wobbly and send multiple transactions in. The bank can actually just go and just have transactions that don't even relate to it. We've seen that before, right? And then also, it could be the other way around where, you know, you, the client, or some other member of an accountancy team can accidentally put a transaction to the wrong bank and put it there by accident. These things are happening more often than you can realise, and a good bank rec is a way of finding it. Now, the good news is bank rec isn't from 1995 anymore. It's got a whole new glow up, and that's what we're going to look at today, and I'm really excited to show it. So let's get ourselves logged in. Let's get ourselves into QuickBooks Online, and let's show you what the future of a bank reconciliation is going to be, and not one click boom malarkey and it's all done. We can do better than that. Come on, let's have a look. Now what I'm going to do first of all is just look at the traditional 1995 version of bank reconciliation. You know, the 1995 version that's still way more advanced than the Xero version, because Xero doesn't even have a bank rec. But anyway, let's go and have a look and remind ourselves what that looked like. So if you remember, the bank reconciliation looked like this. And what we had was this area where we could go in, say that our bank rec was, say, £1,000, pick the date of it. It'll tell you if you haven't actually done all the transactions yet, which was a great new feature that's been added, which we love. But let's say we know best and it's going to go through. Take us to this screen. It'll tick all the items that have green blobs on them to say that there is. The green blob items that you can see here already ticked are transactions that have been brought in by a bank feed. But it's also shown me all the other transactions. And in this case, we've got voided transactions, we've got all sorts. This is what a bank reconciliation is all about, right? It's showing me that these transactions probably shouldn't be here. And yeah, it's not the massive difference in the world, £584.7p but I don't want any difference in, right? I want that to be absolutely zero. So the point of a bank reconciliation in a really messy account like this is for me to go in, find the transactions, put it all in there. And the idea is you have a bank statement here and you would go through ticking it up if it was something as messy as this. Brilliant, okay. But it's still quite a manual piece of work, right? There's still quite a lot of manual elements that we've got to go through, we've got to get done to get that through. Not no more though. So I'm going to go over to my American one, and this hasn't arrived in the UK yet, but we know the date is coming. I just don't know if I'm allowed to say what that date is, but trust me when I say it's not too far away. So now if I go to the banking area and go to Reconcile, I'm shown with a completely new way of looking at it. And it's saying it's this AI-powered reconciliation that's here to help. Get help reconciling with an AI bank statement and extraction review on the way. Now, what I'm going to do, what all I've done now is reset this one, because what I want to show you is a really clean approach to this first. All right, so this is our new banking reconciliation area. And all I've done is I've gone through and I've asked my client to send me bank statements. And I've done this purposely where I have two bank statements here, one that's nice and clean and one that I'm expecting to have some issues on, because I want to show you the whole process of what happens in both scenarios. And all I have to do to reconcile now is, remember the process on the old solution? You had to kind of get your bank statement out, read it, find the figures out. And what you were trying to do, if you should remember from there, was fill in the statement ending balance and the statement ending date. Well, now they've given us a handy little new feature. Upload from this device. And all I do is I grab my bank statement and I drop it into there. And now QuickBooks is going to do something very, very, very clever. What it's going to do is it's going to extract that data for you. It's going to find all the elements, and also it's going to go line by line by line by line to see what was on that bank transaction. So straight away, it's told me that there's my figure. It's told me my date. And when I press start reconciliation, it's going to give me a different screen. It's going to go through pulling everything together, and it's now going to take me to a brand new screen. And here's your bank reconciliation screen. On the left hand side, you've got your beginning balance. Just remember these are American dates. Obviously in the UK we'll get UK dates coming through. But at the moment it's saying it's the 1st of the 5th, 2025. Always a difficult one for me to get that one right. You can see what the statement balance was. Again, it's in dollars. We'll get UK GBP. And then what was it in QuickBooks? Different, 0. So straight away, our starting balance is exactly right. It's extracted the figures from there. Let's bring it through. Total in deposit, it's not found any in the statement, and it's also not found any in QuickBooks. I purposely made a really small version just to showcase what it is, but it would have found those as we go along. Total amount in payments is found £36.39 or $36.39, but also in QuickBooks. So you have this two-tiered approach. This is what the statement says and what the closing statement balance is in statement, and this is what QuickBooks is saying to what we've already posted as transactions. Now the cool thing is here we have the opportunity to see all our transactions, and because QuickBooks is confident that these transactions are right, has automatically ticked them because it's seen them through the bank transactions and automatically cleared them. And the reason that this balance here is cleared as £36.39 is because they were ticked. If I was to untick one for whatever reason, if I didn't agree with it, whatever, notice how now that £20.96p has been updated. We're now £15.43 out. But we also have a little explanation here. This was recorded in QuickBooks during a previous period, now cleared for your bank. You can now clear this transaction. So even though I've unticked it, QuickBooks is saying, why are you doing that? That's not true. QuickBooks Assist, Intuit AI, is actually saying you should have ticked that. Once I've ticked it, I get back to it and I get my 0 from here. Beautiful experience. So let's think about what happened there. I didn't have to read the bank statement once. I didn't have to extract any of the information. I didn't have to do all the 1995 problems. All I did was I grabbed the bank statement, I imported the bank statement into QuickBooks. AI was able to read that bank statement for me, extract all the information, find the opening balance, find the closing balance, and make sure all the transactions were there. And in this clean, simple, very straightforward version of it, it's found all of my problems. It's found 0 problems, shall I say, and it's been able to reconcile ready to go straight away. What an experience this is. And just like in the previous way of reconciling, I have the finish now, but at the top, I can drop down to say save later or continue without saving if it was something I wanted to look into. I can switch to the previous experience if I really want to go back to 1995, which clearly it wasn't, but I'm going to obviously stay in this wonderful experience. But when I do press finish now, those transactions have now had that rubber stamp still on them, meaning that going forward, if I was to change any of that transaction, when I come back to this screen here, it's going to tell me, whoa, 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 these transactions have changed. Here's what we need to do about them, and it's going to fix it. Now, I purposely made sure that this next one we're going to do is going to be a little bit more complicated, but let's go through the same experience. I grab the bank statement, I drag and drop the bank statement into there. Oh, and while it's doing that as well, that bank statement that we dropped in before, that's now been saved to QuickBooks. So we have that copy of that bank statement. If I ever wanted to, I could go back to that reconciliation page, go back to the reconciliation report and see the transactions there. While it's just quickly extracting them before I press start, let me show you where that is. I'll go history by account. I can see these are the ones I did manually and I had to put adjustments in and whatever just to get it where it was. But this is, they're telling me that that attachment is clicked there. The report remains the same, so we're happy with the report. But I have an attachment of my bank statement here that I can go and see at any point if I wanted to go and see it there with the tick saying extraction complete. Now, back to a bit more of a messy one though. So if I go back to the reconciliation here, it's extracted all the information, it's put my ending balance in, it's put my ending date in. So let's start reconciling. It's going to go through the same process. As you can see here, it's putting it together, extracting the transactions. So in this scenario, what's happened is it's taken the bank statement transaction from the beginning balance, happy with them. It's looked at seeing how many deposits was and it's matched that to QuickBooks to the statement. But it's found that from a total in payment scenario, we've got missing ones. And this happens from time to time, right? The bank feed might have fallen off, or there could be scenarios where we've not been able to, or the bank's just not sent the information. There's loads of reasons why that bank feed doesn't always work every single time. And in this scenario here, that's exactly what's happened. And what QuickBooks has done is and I find is really clever, is it's gone through and it said, look, this transaction here, this wasn't found in QuickBooks Online, but it's in your bank statement. Make sure your bank connection is working or manually add this transaction. Now, I think from a usability point of view, and hopefully something that we can put into the feedback up there, I'd love an option for an action button here to add directly from here. We've got all the information, right? So let's be able to add it from here. Currently, the process and the workflow is you'd have to come out of it and add it from there. We're going to show how that's been improved, so we'll keep an eye on that in a moment. But it now has that ability to be able to see this. So, but you can see how it's seen every transaction for you. And also at the bottom here, it said, this has been in QuickBooks without clearing the bank. Confirm it's posted in the correct account or not a duplicate. You may need to void or create a reversing journal. So I can actually edit this transaction, have a look at it in a little bit more detail and realize, oh, this transaction should never have been there. And I can then move this to a different one to go through from there. But it's clever enough to find those variances for me, going line by line by line by line to find what the differences are. And okay, in this one, if I had already connected to it, and I had already had these transactions in, then it would have already ticked the items I'm going to do there. So that's where we're at the moment. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close without saving and just show you a new version of how we can bring this data into QuickBooks. So ideally, if I go to the bank transaction page, ideally the transactions would have automatically flown through here, right? At the moment, you can see the bank has expired, it's not connected and everything else. Imagine I was struggling to get that connection there for whatever reason. I can't get contact with a client or whatever the reason's going to be. Now, typically, to get transactions in, I could link the bank or manage consent and bring that through from there. Or I could upload from file. Now, when I used to upload from file, I used to go in here and I used to be able to just bring in, or I was forced to bring in CSV, QVX, text, all those sort of things, right? But not anymore. Now I have the opportunity to go in and I just quickly grab that file. Now I can drag and drop PDF, JPEGs and PNG files. So if your client's sending you PDFs and they're happy with sending you PDFs, QuickBooks can extract them straight away. Now this is an amazing feature. I actually lost a client once because they were happily sending me PDFs, they're happy doing that. And then when I said to him, look, we're really against time on this one. Can you just go in and this time send me a CSV? Because all I was doing before was extracting it manually and going through from there. You'll see now that QuickBooks and then asking for the CSV file was almost too much for the client, and they were like, no, just forget it, and they moved on. This was well early into my days. Now though, if they were sending me PDFs, I just import the PDF into here, put that in there, well happy with this. I even get some funky bits where I can highlight things and kind of do things like that to this here if I want to, maybe kind of highlight items and stuff if I need to. But on the right hand side are all the transactions it's been able to extract. It's extracted this one, extracted that one, extracted those, extracted this, right? You can see that there's maybe some transactions that for review, maybe some empty fields it's not quite been able to read, or maybe there's some that we've actually edited, because we could, if we wanted to, edit some of these transactions and put it through from there. So what we're able to do here is upload a PDF document directly to QuickBooks. Oh my, like honestly, this is huge. The start date, the end date, the starting balance, all that sort of stuff, and go through. I press import, just like I would do normally. I tick the ones I want to import, just like I would do normally, press import from there, press the import button, and just like that, like my normal workflow, these just appeared directly here, and all I can do from here is just go, yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go and say, yep, happy, 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 happy. You know, add the transactions as I would normally. But now when I come to reconcile, I don't need to re-upload the file because I've been able to get them in. But we've already added those transactions, right? So I press start reconciliation. It's going to go through, do the same magic as before. It's going to look through, putting those transactions in. But as you can see now, it's already ticked all the items that it has confidence with, the ones we've just added, right? The ones we've just put in there. So we know now that these transactions are absolutely spot on. We're happy with it all there. That transaction's now been brought over to the right one. We're happy with that. I can now press finish now. I can press done. And I've reconciled my bank. I've uploaded my bank transactions all by using Intuit AI and Intuit Assist. And all I've had to do is get the bank statement and dump it into QuickBooks. Absolutely amazing. The future by far of how this is going to go. But what do you think? I mean, this to me, when we look at new features that have been added to QuickBooks, ones that are going to be really powerful, this is all the way up there, number one for me. It's not in every version of QuickBooks. At the moment, it's looking like it's going to be on Plus or above, but this by far just makes Plus way worth it. An AI-powered reconciliation tool, yes please, like take my money at this point. Exactly what we need from the AI elements of Intuit Assist, right? This is where people are going to see why it's worthwhile. And when the competition doesn't even have a reconciliation tool, let alone an AI reconciliation tool, then I just 100% believe this is absolutely the future of where this is going to go. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think this is a worthwhile feature, something you're going to use, or are you going to go back to the old experience, the 1995 experience for whatever reason? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think of it. Have you had to play around with it? Have you tested it? Is it working in your ways? Has it blown you away? Where this is going to get really, really powerful is that promise of open banking in the UK, right? We've been promised and promised and promised and promised and promised and promised and will continue to be promised that at some point in the world, we are going to get the opportunity to be able to have bank statements being brought through bank feeds. When we have that opportunity, where then PDF documents come through, then that means we can automatically bring this into our workflow. Every time the bank statement's available, we can just go in, press the reconciliation button, let the AI do it for us, tell us if there's any problems, but more importantly, give us that nice, warm, comfort blanket confidence that everything's working as intended. Now, that's the future. That's where it is. And the future isn't far away. The future's here now. And if this is where Intuit Assist is going, then they've already won me over, right? They've already got me absolutely excited about it. So yeah, when it comes to a scale of how excited I are from this future, this is up there with one of the most important updates we've ever seen to the world of QuickBooks Online. And if you want to know about the updates to QuickBooks Online, you're already in the right place. So for features like this, for updates like this, I am also going to be testing, spoiler alert, how this would work with things other than bank statements. What about rental statements, right? What about eBay statements? What about all of those type of statements? How does the AI extract that sort of data? That's the bit that I'm excited about. Let's have a play around with it. Let's have a think about it. And then let's build on it from there. My name's been Aaron Patrick. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Put a comment below if you've played with it or if you would like to play with it, and give your feedback on it. But I promise you, it doesn't get much more exciting than this. My name's Aaron Patrick. See you all in the next video, and bye for now. Bye for now. Hello and welcome to this new series. Hello and welcome to this video. 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 Alright, let's get it set. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, I'm aware we go live every Monday.
The next generation is about everyone else that missed it.
Yeah. So current. All right, you've told us what you love about the industry, but what would you change about the industry?
Where do I start?
During that period of time, where did everyone turn to? Their accountant, right? Their advisor, their bookkeeper. And you all did phenomenal work for small business.